So I was asked to scale Godzilla Rage Across Time, and let me just say, this is one wild ride. So let's get right into it. Starting off with pretty much the easiest way to scale Godzilla is the fact that he automatically upscales majority of the Greek gods. So some easy scaling is even the weakest levels of gods are they're pretty comfortably mountain level. Even things weaker in gods like giants can throw mountains around, so yeah. Now, something a bit higher that comes from probably the weirdest feat I've ever covered in this entire channel that involves breast milk, of all things. You see, when Hercules was a kid, I guess somebody thought it'd be a good idea to trick Hera into breastfeeding him. This gave him super strength, but he's also kind of an idiot, so let's just say she received an injury and sprayed her juices all over the place, which somehow made the Milky Way. Ignoring how unbelievably just who the fuck wrote that myth anyways. Hera can make a galaxy accidentally through some weird means. So yeah, Godzilla's galaxy level, I guess. Yeah, also for anyone wondering, that is in fact why it's called the Milky Way. Well, time to jump to a stronger, less weird feat. He automatically is stronger than the Hydra because he's out muscling it like with no difficulty whatsoever in the comic. The Hydra can sort of contend with Hercules. Since Godzilla does about as well against it as Hercules would have, we can pretty much assume that he's as strong as Hercules physically. Hercules is a being that can help basically do the same feat Atlas can do for all of eternity, which is hold up the sky. Now, for Greeks, a lot of people like to say that this is just the Earth, like they're lifting a planet. In reality, the Greeks view this as basically the entire universe, so it was more like literally an infinite amount of weight. So that means that he has infinite physical strength. Infinite physical strength basically makes you universal, real life universal, or normal infinite universal scaling. So he's a universe buster now. But things get even crazier from here. See, Godzilla is able to pretty easily just straight up curb stomp Poseidon. Poseidon upscales Hercules because he can rival Zeus, meaning his power is likely in a lower multiversal range, so Godzilla is now low multiversal. And then to make things even crazier, he basically one-shots the entire Greek pantheon besides Zeus. This automatically puts his power above all the Titans that failed to do so before. So now he's in Zeus's level of power, probably higher. So normal multiversal, likely, would be where he's around now, either that or low multiversal plus. To make things crazier, Zeus has to use all of his power to seal Godzilla away, heavily implying that it took more out of Zeus to do this than when Zeus basically did the same thing to Typhon. Typhon's a being that could have wiped out the entire Greek pantheon and is directly stated to upscale the Titans. So the fact Zeus needed this implies that Godzilla is slightly stronger than Typhon. As if that wasn't enough, Godzilla also breaks out of this, something Typhon could have never really done, and this took more energy out of Zeus than to seal Typhon away, meaning that he should very easily blatantly upscale Typhon. So in order to judge his power, I went off how powerful each of the children of Kronos should have been, each around the same, at least universal, some of the multiversal plus. And then looking at the Titans, which were all very powerful as well. And then also judging that since Godzilla would have been at the bare minimum at least 2 times stronger than Typhon, taking all that into account, my personal scaling for Rage Across Time Godzilla is that he is 114 times infinite universal. For reference, Space Godzilla was only 1 infinite universe. Although his universe was 4D, the Greek universe, Greek mythology's universe can be scaled to 4D, if not much higher. But that scaling is kind of inconsistent throughout the different myths, so I'm not going to go there. But essentially, he could be up to 114 times stronger than Space Godzilla, meaning Rage Across Time Godzilla is comparable to pre-burning Godzilla from the Heisei era, and far stronger than even Showa Godzilla, ignoring 4D scaling and all that. In fact, he's so powerful he'd actually be able to put up a fight against Godzilla in hell if he really tried. So with that said, Rage Across Time Godzilla is among the more powerful Godzillas that we've seen. And honestly, I think people have been lowballing him quite a bit from what I've seen on the internet. Some quick scaling for him that for other things other than just raw power. His speed should be pretty easily infinite speed. So most of the Greek gods show feats on this level, plus the fact he could apparently just outspeed Hermes with his attacks, so his actual movement speed can be scaled to infinite speed when he's in a full-on sprint or trying to rush an enemy, and his atomic breath should upscale Hermes, who is beyond infinite speed. At least in the comic, he appears to be beyond infinite speed in comparison to the other gods. His atomic breath's level of heat is kind of hard to scale, but it should at least be about as hot as the core of a blue star, just judging by how much damage it does to the gods. If not, you could scale to the standard Godzilla atomic breath heat, which is 500,000 degrees Celsius. As for his size, it's a little inconsistent, as he does appear to change size from time to time, but he seems mostly comparable to later Millennium Godzillas, so likely a little taller than Heisei, and probably a little taller than Final Wars as well, but not quite as tall as someone like Legendary or Shin. For battle intelligence, so he's likely able to think of strategies and actually put them into motion. He's probably not quite as smart as most other Godzillas, or at the very least, he's not as reliant on using strategies. He's more used to just brute forcing his way through fights. Physical strength should be comparable to his own atomic power, so yes, he should be able to punch with the multiverse shattering power if he really needed to. That's not to say he's going to punch and the whole universe is going to disappear, which it could, but rather that he can hit enemies that can withstand a universe collapsing in on them, and it would damage them to the point where they might just get one-shotted. As for swimming speed, it should be comparable to his own movement speed, but a casual swimming speed isn't going to be insane just because, that would make the water evaporate and cause some major issues, but ignoring that, he should be able to swim around as fast as he can move. As for where I'd put him in a Godzilla tier list, like which two Godzillas I'd put below and right above him, surprisingly, there's a pretty good place you could put him, and that would be right above where Godzilla was before he fought Space Godzilla, and right before Godzilla after getting amped when fighting Space Godzilla. Meaning he's stronger than Space Godzilla, but not quite as strong as Heisei Godzilla with the Red Spiral Ray, which is still top tier in terms of Godzilla power. Overall, he's way stronger than I thought he was originally, and I intend on using him in more scaling videos to come, including him fighting Kratos, as well as some other actual Greek mythology figures like Typhon eventually. I know I just said he's way stronger than Typhon, but Typhon does have some abilities in the myths that might make this fight turn in his favor. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye.